Our next session is a little unusual because I've been asked to present something on behalf of someone else. He's one of my favorite people in the Bitcoin world. Many of you know him, have read a lot of his writings, Eli Afram from Australia. I asked him to come speak here at CoinGeek Seoul. In fact, I asked him to come speak at CoinGeek Toronto about this very thing because I've known he and his business partner have been building this set of ventures from earlier in the year. He wanted to come speak, but he thought it was better for him to focus on staying in Australia and completing the build. And hopefully we'll get him to speak at the next CoinGeek event. But they were ready to unveil their work. So Eli is sending first a video before I do some further presentation about what they're working on. But it is about a gold token on Bitcoin SV. Let's see Eli with some facial hair.
Hello, CoinGeek Seoul. My name is Eli Afram, CTO for Layer 2. It is my genuine pleasure to announce our holding and subsidiary companies.
Layer 2 is a holding company founded by Chairman Josh Slayman, COO Bill Hotate, and myself, Eli Afram, as CTO. The organization is aimed at bringing utmost utility and value to the BSV blockchain. The four key subsidiary companies are MetaNet Labs, which will be the education arm of the organization and will help in BSV blockchain training, awareness, visibility, and capability for corporations, education across Australia and Southeast Asia. MetaNet Solutions, the development arm. The company will focus on developing various ecosystem applications internally, as well as facilitating external client requirements. Small World Mining, a mining operation that is currently in planning phase, seeking to utilize hydro and biomass power to support the Bitcoin network. Amla, tokenizing the world. Amla is also the name given to the first project underway which tokenizes gold on the BSV blockchain. In future, the company plans to tokenize a much wider range of assets. Amla is a 100% gold-backed token operating on the BSV blockchain. The model is not new. Gold certificates have existed for decades, but what is new is the technology backing the model that brings revolutionary security, transparency, efficiency, and scalability. Because of Bitcoin SV's scalability moves, Amla is capable of tokenizing gold right down to the milligram. You can literally own 4 cents worth of gold at today's rates, and with capacity for instant transactions, you are literally able to buy a packet of gum with it. This means that it has the capacity to be used as a currency in itself, should a government or bank wish to use it. The initial issuance begins with 10 kilograms of gold and will be increased over time pending demand. Audit reports generated by notable firms will be uploaded and stamped immutably on the blockchain. On-chain transparency is a given. Amla brings off-chain interactions such as audits and records those on-chain also. Legitimacy and transparency are the key tenets of the organization. This means compliance on all fronts and honest interactions with customers and investors.
So, some exciting stuff coming out of Eli and his partner. So, let me give you a little bit more information about this. As you saw, this is their Layer 2 holding company and the 4 subsidiaries. Eli's asked me to give you a little bit more information today about Amla specifically. It is the name of one of the companies, but also the name of the first token of a real asset they want to do. As you can see here, Amla wants to move away from the hysteria of crypto labels and become a legitimate asset on its own right. Amla Gold is not an ICO. It is not a promise on a return. It is a tool, and it is a digital representation of a real world asset. Exactly the types of things Dr. Wright has been talking about all along as a great use of BSV. It allows you to buy, sell, and trade and invest in real gold. And just like gold certificates exist in the real world today, Amla seeks to digitize this model electronically and on-chain for fast, frictionless movement. The infrastructure for this will be built on three key things. Of course, the Bitcoin SV blockchain itself, the award-winning tokenized protocol, also with a team from Australia, as well as, most importantly, because this is not Tether, real physical gold in a vault. I repeat, real physical gold in a vault. Why did they choose Bitcoin SV? As Eli explains, it's the only blockchain that seeks to remain stable, which is very important for enterprise application building. You need a stable protocol. The Amla team also required a scalable blockchain technology that works today and one that will be not subject to surprise changes. Amla, like any business building on a solid foundation, wishes to build on a stable protocol so they don't get surprised later. And the reality of a mutable or developer-controlled protocol is that no matter how decentralized a system appears to be, such as by number of nodes, it always remains actually centralized to any protocol developer group that can control its protocol and change it. And as a result, that's one of the reasons that Amla decided to build on Bitcoin SV, because of its commitment that we've made to restoring the original Satoshi protocol for Bitcoin and then locking it down so that all of you and companies across the world can reliably build upon that. Why the tokenized protocol to create the token? Well, tokenized works within the real world, and importantly, within the realm of regulatory frameworks and within the confines of law. In fact, that's one of the reasons the tokenized team won that Bitcoin SV tokenization contest, implementing into its system ways to ensure issuers of the tokens could comply with the laws of whatever jurisdictions that govern them. So tokenized does not seek to break laws and therefore does not introduce risk to businesses, merchants, issuers, customers, or the holders of the tokens that they're creating for Amla Gold. And the method in which tokenized works allows for the flexibility and interoperability with any legal or governance system. And one of the important things about that legal compliance is the ability to freeze, revoke, and confiscate tokens, something that other ecosystems don't like to talk about or do not like to implement the ability to do, but is absolutely critical for creating regulation and government-friendly tokens. And in addition, Eli, I talked to him the other day about this, he said, well, it works. Tokenized works. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, and it's an award-winning implementation that ticks all of the boxes needed: governance, security, and flexibility. So what's Amla Gold? It will bring divisibility, transportability, and security to gold and gold ownership. So most of us aren't sitting around owning gold bars. So in theory, you could own and buy gold bars, but then you have to store them somewhere and maintain security of that. If you want to move them, transportability is an issue and just more expensive. And you can't divide gold bars into different smaller units unless you're willing to melt it down. So that's one of the things that is possible to do with tokenizing. Obviously, you could have gold certificates. These things exist today, but we're moving that concept through Amla to the blockchain. So Amla tokenizes gold, as Eli said in the video, right down to the milligram per token. So each token of their initial issuance will be just a milligram of gold, which will cost at today's rates 4 cents, 4 US cents. You could buy 4 US cents worth of gold through Amla Gold. It works in commerce, which is important because of zero-conf and instant transaction capability on BSV, because as you saw in the video, they foresee the ability to use this token to pay for things in e-commerce, such as with merchants online. And while gold ERC20 tokens exist on the Ethereum network already, none feature the scalability or efficient nature that Amla will come with. In addition, fiat-backed stablecoins do not address the heart of the problem with inflation, but gold does. All actions undertaken by Amla are linked by Amla's contract public address on the blockchain. Therefore, anyone engaged with Amla Gold, whether you're a buyer, a merchant, an investor, you can see transparently all of the transactions, that anything sent to or from their smart contract address on the blockchain. So it'll be very transparent. So off-chain interactions also will be subject to audit. So obviously you can see what happens on the chain, but the critical aspect of their business model is having physical gold to back up the tokens. So what they're going to do is have audit reports on a regular basis to audit the amount of gold that is going to be kept in a vault and upload the audit reports to the blockchain. So that, again, that provides an extra layer of transparency for something which is normally an off-chain reality in the physical world, so that it's something you'll be able to check. The initial issuance will be 10 kilograms, split into 10 million tokens, a milligram each, and it is monetized by the business through taking a very small amount of transaction fee for every transaction. They have not determined what that is yet, but they predict it'll be very small. And Amla Gold's token will comply with international, Western, and Sharia laws governing gold. So notable milestones for them. How are they going to get this out? In 2020, they expect to have a first audit report of the gold they will put into a vault. They will then issue the 10 million tokens and make them available. They're implementing a wallet and point of sale system so that you can transact with the gold tokens. They will also launch microfinancing options, which is a very useful thing in developing countries where people need to take loans for not a home, but for example, buying a scooter, such as my native original birth country of Vietnam, where people sometimes can't afford to buy the moped and they need to take a microloan for it. And so they intend to provide microfinancing capability using the tokens. And they plan to introduce many more asset types, not just gold. And they also intend to implement the Kaching protocol from the team out in Scandinavia with chip and card-based transactions. So that is a quick summary of Amla. Eli welcomes you to contact him for any further questions in detail, of course, well beyond what I could answer based on what I know. But I think it's really exciting what he is doing, and I encourage you to email him at or you can tweet him. His Twitter handle is JusticeMate. If you need to contact him by email, you can contact me, and I can get you connected to him by email. I'm also excited to see the other parts of the Layer 2 universe that are growing, as you can see from the other subsidiaries that they are building to improve and grow BSV generally throughout the Australia and Asia-Pacific region. So let's applaud in absentia for Eli.